As freerunners, we do our best to, you know, fit into polite society. But the truth is, we're kind of weird. So in today's video, we're gonna go through 11 weird things that freerunners do. It was gonna be 10, but you're getting 11. Starting out with number 1, which is having a ritual. So before freerunners will do a jump, they have to get themselves in the mood. And every freerunner has their own way of doing that. All right, yeah, I'm filming. But there are a few really common ones. So one that you'll see a lot is rubbing the bottom of your shoe. So a lot of people will like spit on their hand and then like rub the bottom of their shoe. I think theoretically it makes you think you're gonna have more grip. Maybe it does, but I don't know. 10, 9, no, let me just start again. 20. Do you want me to film this bit or should I cut? The one I do a lot, and it's kind of gross, I can't lie, is if I'm doing something that involves my hands, like a Kong or anything like that, I'll always spit on my hands. So my hands, for some reason, are kind of dry. I don't know why I'm sharing that information with you. So I have to add grip to my hands by spitting on them, rubbing them, and yeah, it's kind of gross. Filming. Yeah, I'm still filming. The thing about rituals is that it doesn't really matter if it's actually aiding your performance. That isn't why we really do it.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 3, 2. Come on!
It's more of like a psychological way of getting yourself to do something you might be hesitant about. It's like you associate the process of doing these things and then you do the jump. Some people it could just be counting down from 3, 2, 1, whereas others it might be rubbing their shoes, spitting their hands, or kissing a rabbit. I don't know. Alright, the next one is one that I recently realised throughout winter. And that is, freerunners will take lengths to avoid stepping on wet grass.
Kids, don't try this at home.
We try and avoid wet grass like the plague, because if you get your shoes all muddy and wet, you're going to be spending ages trying to dry them off before you get to the next spot. Jimmy, yeah. There's this wicked little spot just around here. Cool, I'm coming. Whoa. And it's really funny to watch because obviously like parkour, you know, it's going from A to B as fast as you can. But the amount of times I've seen freerunners take ridiculous long routes to get to a spot purely to avoid grass is just ridiculous. What's the postcode? I'll Google Maps it. It's here. It's like an hour's drive. It's fine. It's very often that you'll go out on a day training and it's just rained, but there's a little bit of wall that's dry and you can just about do a jump. So to avoid stepping on the wet, you'll literally see freerunners walking on their heels. It looks so funny, I do it all the time. You're walking around like this to avoid getting your shoes wet so that you can do the jump and not slip. Before we get into the next one, today's video has been sponsored by Soundcore. They sent me these amazing in-ear headphones called the Life A2NC. I've never been someone who wears earphones when they're doing parkour. I just never did it because I didn't like the wire, and I also found they would fall out a lot. So when I was sent these and found out they were actually really good, I was honestly blown away. But these things just do not come out when I'm training parkour. I've pretty much fully switched to wearing these even when I'm editing videos because the quality is so nice. It has that kind of thumping bass sound, so music just sounds amazing on them. And they're not just good for music, I found they are super clear in phone calls as well. And on top of that, the battery life is ridiculous. You get 35 hours of playtime. And if they do run out of battery, you can just charge them for 10 minutes and you'll get 1.5 hours of playtime. They're perfect when I'm on the go and it's kind of noisy. If I'm editing on a train, in a coffee shop, or even just with a group of friends and I kind of want to get on with something, I can just put these in and the noise cancellation is that good, I won't hear anything, there's no distraction. I honestly couldn't recommend these anymore. They are so good. So be sure to go pick some up. It really helps me out if you use the link below. Anyway, back to the video. So the next one on the list is getting really overexcited over inanimate objects. So what I mean by that is you might be walking along with your friends, some non-freerunner people, and you see somewhere that looks perfect to go and do parkour.
I was on my way out of that spot and I found this.
And you could be mid-conversation with that person, but your whole attention has now just switched to this potential parkour spot. To be honest, man, I've not been good. Like, my wife left me. She took the kids, the house. I've been having these dark thoughts lately, man. I just don't know how much more I can take. Like, at least I can talk to you about it. This is perfect. Again. The amount of times my girlfriend gets annoyed at me because we're mid-conversation and I see a parkour spot. I completely interrupt that conversation and just point it out, and she doesn't care. It's literally just a wall and a bench, but I'm completely enamored by it. But it's funnier when you're with parkour people because you'll all be talking and you'll all see the same spot and you'll all have the same reaction. Next up is the strange habit of like touching and shaking walls. You know how like dads do that thing when they check the sturdiness of a wall and they'll like hit it a few times?
Pain. Oak.
Well, freerunners do the same thing but to parkour spots. Ooh, that is clever. God, the sound is... When we do parkour, we check our surfaces so that you're not landing on a wall that's gonna break. So you'll quite often see freerunners like shaking and trying to hit a wall and punch this wall just to check that it's gonna be okay. Whoa. We have this like strange infatuation with good building materials. If something has really good grip and it feels sturdy, there's nothing that will make freerunners more happy. Yeah, it's good. It's a wall. Next up is tucking your trousers into your socks. This is a fashion that was popularized by your school geography teacher, but for some reason it made its way over to parkour, and it's very common that you'll see it. You might argue that there's a bit of a practical reason, like if your joggers maybe are a bit baggy or something like that, tucking them into your socks will keep them in a nice place. But truthfully, it is just done as a fashion thing. It kind of looks cool and it complements the look, especially if you've got cargo joggers. But I do find it funny how school teachers used to do this. Like my geography and my PE teacher would always do it. And like at least we can admit we do it because it looks cool. But I don't really know why school teachers did it. Next up is wearing an absolutely destroyed pair of shoes. Like I'm talking holes in the bottom, rips in the grip. Sometimes you'll even see people's toes poking out of the mesh at the front of the shoe. The thing is, when you find a good pair of parkour shoes, it can be so hard to let them go. But like when you've worn them for so long, they become perfectly molded to your feet. And because they've been beaten down from endless jumps, they are so comfortable. And usually the few weeks before the dying days of a pair of shoes is often their peak because they are now so molded to your foot. But then you'll get a massive hole in the bottom and you just won't throw them away. Honestly, the state of some people's shoes I have seen in parkour is just embarrassing. Like I've seen it fully where the front of the shoe is hanging off and there's like 2 holes in the base. So like these are my training shoes. They're the Stora 10s and I seriously love these shoes. But I'm going to show you something I've never shown anyone before. They have served me well, but they are definitely on their way out. But I can't lie, I'll probably keep wearing these for another month or 2. Alright, so this next one actually follows on from my last week's video. And that is cheering more for a save of a Bale than the actual completion of the jump.
That was sicker. That was sicker. Move, YouTube.
Now, normal people would see that and be like, oh my god, are you alright? Are you okay? But freerunners will literally celebrate. They'll be like cheering about how good that Ukemi was.
Wow. Legend. Wow.
And then they go back to actually do the jump and they make it, land it perfectly, and nobody's bothered. They're like, oh, cool.
Oh, yo. Nah, it wasn't as good as the last one, you know?
There is just something so exciting about seeing someone recover a Bale well. What the f? Oh my god! Okay, the next one is being angry when you land a move perfectly because it took you longer than you wanted. I'll kill you. I will kill you. So easy. I can't just do it first time. I can't lie, I'm kind of guilty of this one. If a jump takes me ages, I'll often land it and be like, Jesus, why did it take me so long to do that? I'll be annoyed because I've made the jump and it was actually easy. Yeah, boy! No, because I felt the... And it can be really frustrating because you've just spent like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes on this one jump. That when you finally got the balls to do it, it turned out to be easy. This can become quite a bad mentality for parkour. If you're not celebrating your victories and you just get in these negative thought loops, it's not healthy. But there is something funny about it. Alright, so next is scanning through Google Maps like you're some kind of MI5 agent trying to find parkour spots. Google Maps is actually a blessing for people who do parkour. I might actually do a video on that, so if you want that, comment below. But I always find it funny when I'm looking through Google Maps and I'm zooming in, enhancing the image, just to see if there's like a slight structure that looks like it would be good for parkour. But honestly, this method works really well. I remember in the Stora video, which was London's dying estate or something like that, in the beginning of the video, Benj says that that was how he found that spot, which led to them making that amazing video.
I was sat on the tarmac on a plane one time and I was just going through maps and I saw this estate and I zoomed in and I was like, oh, that's amazing. And there was just spots everywhere.
The worst thing is when you go to the spot and it actually turns out to be terrible because it can look deceiving. I can't imagine that most people even use that feature on Google Maps. It's like it's solely designed for freerunners and creeps. Alright, so next on this list happens to me all the time and I always realise how weird it is when I say it. And that is when I say I'm going to go gym. So, you know, if I'm with my group of mates and I say, yeah, I'm going gym Wednesday, I can't make it to whatever, they might turn around to me and be like, oh, nice, what do you deadlift? To which I sort of awkwardly explain, no, I mean gymnastics, like pirouettes and spandex. Doesn't quite have the same bravado as lifting weights. I don't really want to say, oh, I'm going gymnastics because I'm not. I'm going specifically to learn flips for free running and do a bit of tricking and stuff like that. I'm not going to do pirouettes. But the mental image most people get if you say, oh, I'm about to go gymnastics, just isn't a look that most free runners are trying to have. Okay, so the final one on this list is the strange attraction that free runners have to like hippie workout practices. For example, I love the Wim Hof method. I do the cold showers, I do the breathing, I do all of that stuff. And I love it. It makes me feel good, it makes me healthy. But to most people who know me, they're like, oh, there you go, Jimmy's doing one of his weird hippie things again. Jimmy.
Breathe. Just go with the flow. Breathe.
Oh,
And exhale.
okay, alright.
Go with the flow. All the breath.
Like I've had it with diets, yoga, all these kind of things.
And release all of those sounds that are trapped in your mind.
And it's not just me, like most free runners I know tend to be into something like that. And to be honest, it's not a bad thing. Like it's quite good that free runners do generally like to take care of their body. They like to be healthy. But it definitely can be a bad thing because it does lead to some free runners doing some really weird and potentially unhealthy practices.
Oh, it tastes like spicy grass.
Like, I don't know what it is. I think we have this natural tendency to like to try things that are a little outside the box. But that can definitely go too far. The box is there for a reason. And it's good to push the boundaries, but you know, sometimes just don't drink your own urine. That's all I'm saying. Alright, so that's my list. Let me know anything that I might have missed in the comments below. You can massively help support the channel by buying the Parkour bucket list. I have that and a new t-shirt which is out on jimmythegiant.co.uk. Or you can support me on Patreon or using the sponsored link below. Peace.